Many of our viewers would recognize Louisiana Farm Bureau President Ronnie Anderson dressed up in a suit. Well, that's just how most of us are used to seeing him. However, like most farmers and ranchers across the state, Anderson is most at home on the land. In this edition of Louisiana Farm Life, TWILA's Karl Wiggers takes us to Ethel, Louisiana, and the land that has supported the Anderson family for almost 100 years.
This is where Ronnie Anderson feels most at home. His farm, the same farm where he grew up.
Come here! My grandfather was in the dairy business, and they had, corn and hay, of course, and that sort of stuff. And the corn was to feed the cattle and the horses and mules and stuff.
Anderson even remembers plowing a field or two behind a mule. He later traded in the mule to work with the John Deere Model A, like this one you see here. As much as Anderson loves this Model A, he loves his horses even more. Anderson's love for horses would later be shared with a lifelong friend, Vivian, the daughter of a dairy farmer up the road in Jackson, Louisiana. So it was only natural that their first date involved this shared hobby.
He called and wanted to know, did I want to go ride horses? And that was something we both enjoyed doing together. And growing up, we always did. I'd come down here with my mother, and Ronnie would be riding, and I would ride horses with him. So it was a very, very cold January day, and we went to ride horses. And I just remember that how very comfortable it was being with him. You could go out with somebody, and you felt like you had to act a certain way or say something, but you could laugh and you could talk, and you were very, very comfortable with him. And I'll always remember that very cold January Sunday riding horses with Ronnie.
While still in college at LSU and only 20 years old, Ronnie married Vivian and they moved home to this farm. Anderson took over the family dairy and continued to spend 25 years in the industry. Anderson now raises beef cattle. Here on the farm, you'll find cows and their calves, a few donkeys, a pair of longhorn steers, and, it's a little surprise, his horses. His love for horses never wavered, even after getting a couple of bumps and bruises over the years, including the time he was bucked from his horse, properly named Buck. The bumps and bruises here included a separated pelvis and a stay in the hospital.
Oh, that's the one that almost killed me.
That didn't stop Anderson from climbing back in the saddle, even against Vivian's better wishes.
I discouraged it, but it was something he had done all his life. And the first time he got on a horse, he didn't tell me that that's what he was doing.
Ronnie finds his way back into the saddle today alongside his grandchildren, where his love for horses has made its way into the hearts of the next generation.
I've always had horses, and when I was a little kid, you'd ride without a saddle and bareback and have to use your toes to hook in their legs and climb up and climb on a fence when you're too short to get on them. But I don't know, I tell you what, when I got hurt, it did hurt my back pretty good. And if I sit or stand or something, I'll have some back problems. But when I get on a horse, the back problems go away. I mean, really, you would think it would make it worse, but the best I feel is when I'm riding. And when you can ride and have your granddaughter riding with you and see how happy she is and how much she's beginning to love to ride, it's a great experience. They can't beat that.
In the office, the Farm Bureau keeps him busy, but he says it's the farm that keeps his life in balance.
With all the stress and stuff that I do with the Farm Bureau and LSU and legislative stuff, I come out here and either get on a horse, on a tractor, clip pasture, ride a horse. It's the way I stay sane. If I don't do that, I'd be crazy as a bat. But anyway, it's a relief.
Ronnie and Vivian stay very busy taking care of the land at home, as well as business here with Farm Bureau. And as if that isn't enough, Anderson also sits on the Board of Supervisors at LSU. And Kristen, Avery, one thing that we share is a love for LSU baseball. And we talked about that there at the house on the back porch, how much they're excited about opening day a couple weeks away, and I cannot wait myself.
Yeah, I know you can't wait. Now, I know that because I was out there shooting that story with Karl, and as soon as they started to talk about LSU baseball, I was just, where's Avery? Doesn't really matter. It went on and on and on and on. And
it's a conversation that's come up a few times between us, so it's something we know.
And didn't you try to talk them out of their tickets?
We can't say that on camera, but maybe a game or two I might have tried to finagle out of there.
Well, maybe if you stick with it, he might just give you one for one game.
Fingers crossed.
And me too.
Fingers crossed.
Well, thank you very much, Karl Wiggers.
Still to come on TWILA, from Iowa to the internet, it's time to see what's trending on TWILA.
Stay with us.